Hey, buddy.
What's going on?
Same old. Just chaos in the Canucks world. Coming down to the last minute and getting scored on and getting a penalty shot in overtime. Like, when was the last time the Canucks had a penalty shot in overtime?
I think I saw a stat. 2016, Ben Hutton was the last Canuck penalty shot scoring.
Ben Hutton.
Yeah.
That's funny. Where's he? Is he still in the league?
Yeah, he's still in Vegas, I think.
Yes.
I think he's like their 7th D-man or something.
Yeah, him and
he
Troy
gets in
Stetcher,
here or
the
there.
old boys. So, what'd you think?
Nothing like sitting on a 1-0 lead, eh?
Yeah. Are you surprised they called it a penalty shot?
A little bit, especially because O'Connor didn't have possession, right? Like it was on a pass across, but I mean, I've seen crazier penalties called, I guess, in this league. So that's double agent Celebrini twice tonight. Yeah. Shooting the puck over the glass for us, and then taking that hooking penalty to get the penalty shot. Thank you. He's already playing for us.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll take it.
2 times
he knew what he was doing.
Well, and that's the thing. I feel like he might even. I honestly think Celebrini might be freaking out a little bit when he's playing the Canucks because, like, obviously it's the team he was cheering for growing up, and he does seem to have in the games we played against San Jose. There has been a bunch of different things that he's done that have actually helped the Canucks. So maybe he is a secret agent.
Yeah, maybe. And I've heard that him and Hughes play a lot of Call of Duty together. So maybe a little tampering going on there. He was laying some groundwork for the future.
If it's tampering, if it's done over game chat, I don't know. Does that count?
I don't know. Apparently it's tampering if your wives get together and talk about you moving in with your best friend in New York, but we'll save that for another day.
Oh, yeah, I did see briefly on that. That's funny. So I was chatting with Nick about the hit total because obviously the Canucks are usually a team that out hits, but it doesn't even sound like San Jose is that big of a hitting team this year. But the Canucks get out hit again, 18-26. Are you getting a little concerned now because it seems like the last few games the Canucks are getting out hit? So maybe we trade the hits for the wins, I guess, or how are you feeling?
Well, I think what I've noticed is the Canucks have had possession more often. So when you have possession more often, you aren't the one throwing the hits. So it does coincide a little bit with that. If you looked at the possession numbers this game, Canucks were almost up around 30 minutes in possession time. So you're going to get hit more often when you have the puck more often. So I'll kind of take it. But yeah, like I would have liked to see them be a little more physical at times tonight. San Jose was kind of pushing us on our heels, especially in that third period. I mean, his shots were 16-3 in that third period. It just, man, we need our big guys to get going and like put the foot on the throat. But I don't know if this is, again, we've seen so many times this team come out and try to sit on leads that are just not safe, and they're just not doing a good job of doing that. And it's just coming down to the other team pulling their goalie and banking one in and getting a lucky goal, and then we got forced to go to overtime. Instead of just continuing to push, we had all that momentum we started to gain towards the end of the second period and just came out flat as hell in the third. I don't know what it is, but it seems like a lot of it is pointing at system issues. It says a lot when you send the 2 brand new guys out there who have not played together for more than 2 games for overtime. When you have Pedersen, Besser, Höglander, plenty of players to go out there, and you send those 2 guys, which for their speed, great. It led to the win, but says a lot about, hey, the bench might be calling Petey's name here pretty soon.
Well, I mean, it might be one of the best coaching decisions Talcott's made all year is to put the new guys out there in overtime because clearly the guys we had were not making it happen in overtime. And Drew O'Connor draws that penalty shot and wins the game for us. So Drew O'Connor already making his presence felt, and the Canucks in general, that's his 8th goal of the year. So he might even end up with the amount of games we have left. He could end up with like 12, 15 goals or something like that, which is very serviceable for the contract that he has.
Well, yeah, and you can see why the Canucks are eager to re-sign him.
I was making jokes last game about how Hedl kind of felt like JT Miller, and that on that Toffoli goal, that was a very JT Miller move, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
Putting the puck right in front.
And to be fair, I mean, Hronek kind of was soft on the boards on that one. He could have chipped it up the boards right away. Instead, he tried to pin it like an idiot, and just little mistakes, right? Like just stuff that if Hughes is out there, that goal probably doesn't happen.
Does it not feel good though that despite the fact that Hughes was in the lineup, the Canucks still managed to pull out a win?
For sure, it always feels good when you can win without your number one player in the lineup.
Yeah, tough though because obviously we don't know what's going to happen. They got Toronto on Saturday, so it should be interesting to see if Quinn Hughes doesn't play in that game and then still plays in the Four Nations Cup. I think I'll be quite upset.
I think a lot of the comments are pointing to they trust that he will make the right decision and not go. I think the organization has kind of tongue in cheek made it known that they don't want him to. They've just kind of said, both Talkett and Alvin have just kind of said, look, Quinn is a professional. He knows his body. He knows what the right decision is to make. So, it just kind of seems like they don't want him to go. And realistically, Quinn knows what the main goal is, and that's winning the Stanley Cup. It's not winning the Four Nations mean nothing tournament in the middle of the season. So, I would expect him to not go, even if he does play against Toronto. We'll see how well he skates in that game, but I would really be pushing for him to get that 2 weeks of rest.
How good does Dakota Joshua feel tonight getting that goal?
Oh, it's just what a relief for him, and he's been showing signs of getting back to the form he had last year, slowly. And with each game, he looks a little bit more comfortable, and that one, hopefully, maybe you'll get him going here where he's being more dangerous right in front of the net, and that was what made him so effective last year, was clearing space in front of the net, getting a stick open, and banging home those garbage goals.
A good read by Suter too to kind of hold up and wait because you saw right when the goal went, Dakota Joshua moves in front of the goalie's eye line right before he tips the puck, and a pretty impressive tip too to have it on the far side of you and tip it into that side of the net. So good hand-eye coordination and good on Suter for that slight pause, like I said, getting it to the front of the net.
Definitely.
Tyler Toffoli, 20th goal of the season, came against the Vancouver Canucks. Do you think he still regrets signing with the Sharks, or do you think he's just in it for the money?
I think he just goes wherever a team will take him. I think he's kind of just that suitcase player. He's never really solidified himself as a leader on a team and kind of gone to that next level. He's just kind of been supporting actor, I guess you could say, if you want to give him a title. And I mean, he's been consistent. Year after year, he consistently puts up offense, but he's not that guy that you hear about as like taking a team to the cup or carrying a team. He's just kind of, I'm good at hockey and I just here to play.
Do you think he has potential to get moved at the deadline?
Um, Possibly, yeah. I would imagine he's someone that contenders would be looking at to add. Um, and given the position that San Jose is in, they're not making the playoffs, so he's one of their assets. I would expect them to be looking to move.
We got the rematch coming up on Saturday night against the Maple Laughs. A 4:00 start in Vancouver. McDavid was
Of
very
course,
upset about the 5:00 start when Toronto played Edmonton in Edmonton.
so mad.
How the Canucks gonna look against a Maple Leafs team that probably comes in with a little bit of anger in their hearts after getting shut out in Toronto for the first time ever?
Um, it'll depend on the lineup we trot out there. I still think we need to do some work with our forward structure. With the new guys coming in, I don't like putting all the speed on one line. I get why you do it because those two guys can keep up with each other, but then you sacrifice a lot of speed and rush ability throughout the rest of the lineup. So I would like to see O'Connor and Hedel split up again, but who knows? It also depends on Hughes, whether or not he's coming back in the lineup or not. Yeah, I would expect now that Demko didn't get the shutout that Lankinen. It's a little easier to go back to Lankinen now for the last game against the Leafs. So I would expect him to be in the net because I believe that was the plan originally. But if Demko had carried that shutout to the end, would have been pretty tough to go back to Lankinen in that game against Toronto.
Should be very proud of me. The amount of times I saw the word shutout in chat tonight and didn't read it, I finally did it. It was not my fault for the first time ever.
I saw it so many times and I was like, yep, waiting. I was waiting. I was waiting for it.
So for Saturday, you're going to be there for the first intermission, brother?
I will. And you know what? I'm seeing far too much gray in that chat. So we'll be hopefully giving away some memberships on Saturday.
Okay,
so
perfect.
Chat better be there.
Yeah. So we'll have the Toronto Maple Leafs game Saturday at 4:00. So it'll be an early start. So and then we also have that game. We'll have one game from the Abbotsford Canucks to talk about. They're going to be playing against Colorado at 6:05 on Friday night. And then I guess we won't be able to talk about the next game because it starts at 6:05 and the Canucks game starts at 4. So maybe a little bit of
post game. We might have a period to talk about or part of it. So but we'll definitely have one game to break down for sure.
And then I was going to ask you too. We're planning on doing the Four Nations Cup. We're going to be following the Canada games. Are you interested in doing some analysis for the Canada games?
Sure. Yeah, I'll be around.
Cool. Awesome, Dustin. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you from Nick again for the donation to the Cortana Surgery Fund. That's awesome. Anything you want to say to chat before I let you go?
I hope everyone had a great night. Thanks as always for stopping by. Appreciate the comments. I'm always reading chat, even though I'm not necessarily commenting because we're obviously run a limited time in the intermissions and stuff. So just keep the comments coming. Love seeing and hearing from everybody. And we'll see everybody on Saturday.
Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Cheers.
Nothing is perfect.